What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to OzSide Football, your number one football destination with an Australian twist, presented to you by Helos Media. Hazmat, we're back.
Welcome.
We're back
Yes,
for
we are.
transfers.
Yes, we are.
And I hear championship season is on its way.
Yes, championship hoodies are on their way from Helos. I'm actually wearing a red Helos hoodie now to support my team Arsenal this weekend. I don't have purple because if I did, I'd be wearing Fiorentina, supporting them. We've got Roma. But, yeah, the championship season is on the way. They should be here in a few weeks with everything going in lockdown, so that's a bit of positivity.
Yeah. Everyone get ready for championship season. Get a bit of your Gladys money, set it aside, or whatever state you live in. Get their grant money, set it aside, buy some Helos. We got transfers, rumours. A pretty slow week, I would say. There's one big one.
You'd think so, but it's not as slow as people would like to think.
Not as slow as last week. I would say last week was a lot slower.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not as slow as people would like to think, to be honest. And I'll tell you why.
Go on, then.
So, let me get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. We are going to do confirms. And straight away, I'm going to the motherland. I'm going to Italy.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to start with the most controversial transfer of the week. Now, for people that don't know, Lazio are actually a Rome-based team. And unlike other rivalries in the world where you have two big clubs in one city, players may move between. Like Chelsea and Arsenal, that's a rivalry, but players move between them. Even Tottenham and Arsenal, we see players play for both clubs, like at youth level, and then go across to the other, etc., etc. But with Lazio and Roma, it is so rare, so rare. They hate each other that much. It's like Celtic and Rangers that a player ever transfers straight across. But Pedro has signed for Lazio, which means he will be one of the most hated men.
Yeah.
But Pedro has an unreal career, and it's actually a great signing for Lazio. But yeah, it's not that big of a deal in terms of the player, but the actual
like Adebayor.
The symbolism. Yeah, the symbolism of that transfer is quite immense. But besides that, Serie A was the best league this week by far, transfer-wise. We saw Locatelli go to Juve on a loan. He'll most probably sign for around 50 million or more.
We are a transfer that we've been talking about since the Euros.
Yeah, and I didn't think he was going to go to Juve, but here we are, and everyone hates him now, which is good. But yeah, he went to Juve. Juve do this thing like they did with Chiesa. Obviously, it's about money, so they have time. They want to bring the player in now, so they sign him on a 1-year loan with an extension to buy, so that in that 1-year loan, they can figure out who they're selling. To get that money in when they confirm the deal. Nonetheless, we saw Patrick Cuccione go to Empoli on loan. That's not that big of a deal. Tammy Abraham went to Roma for 40 million.
He will be big for Roma.
Yeah, he's joining quite the club of Brits, that go to Italy. Britain and Italy are developing quite the relationship. We've seen Tomori,
it's like Englishmen going to Germany.
Times. Yeah. Well, yeah, but this one goes a bit deeper because obviously you got like Paul Ince and Ian Rush and Paul Gascoigne back in the day. But recently, Tomori and Smallings have been huge over there, and even Ramsey as well. I know he's Welsh, and same with Rush, but I say Brits. But yeah, 40 million, and you know what? When Mourinho says, "Hey, I want this striker," you got to wonder what he sees.
Yeah,
he did it with Drogba at Chelsea. He goes, "I want him." He could have picked anyone. He said, "I want him."
I want Tammy.
And look where it led. He said, "I want Tammy Abraham." And Roma are replacing Dzeko with arguably a great transfer.
Oh, God, yeah. Younger, more potential, higher ceiling.
Yeah, Dzeko's a freak, but yeah. So with the Tammy deal, Roma's going to be interesting for him because it's a lot less faster, fairly physical, but it's more like no, I wouldn't say skill, but it's about possession and the mind. In Italy, it's more about like in England, you'll see a lot of scrappy goals, but in Italy, you don't see that many. It's more like pinpoint tactics.
Yep.
You got to be a very sharp brain to be at a top level in Italy. So yeah, but if we go to Inter, they signed Denzel Dumfries, which is massive. You're signing Yes. Well, they beat the mighty Everton to the signature. They had a lot of competition there, it seemed. But yeah, they got Dumfries for around 15 to 20 million, I believe. It wasn't even 15.
No, I think it was like 12.
Yeah, that's nothing. And they got Dzeko on a free. Dzeko's 35, so that's not big of a deal. But the most underrated transfer of the week was the Nigerian striker Simi. He went from Crotone to, I can't say him, but Salernitana on loan. But last year, Simi himself scored 20 goals and got 3 assists in the Serie A.
Yeah,
for a relegated side.
Yeah, wow.
Big big Nigerian boy. So yeah, they've secured their frontline player, and they'll be doing the exact same. They'll be like, hey, we need to stay up. We need another 20 goals from you.
Yep.
We need another 20 goals minimum. And he can deliver because he scores off set pieces and he scores penalties and he just gets in good positions in the box. So on an Italy front, that was about it. But if we go to France quickly, we saw something that could make Camavinga go. Now, FIFA boys would know about this bloke. I'm sure they would. But Baptiste Santamaria, who plays for Freiburg, French CDM, he went to Stade Rennais for 18 million.
That's actually not that much for him.
No, not that much for him. He's like one of the most touted midfielders in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
And it was always a question of why the fuck does he play for Freiburg? But he went for 18 million, and Emerson went to Lyon on loan. So Lyon are just bolstering their stocks, and I like it. I really like it. And yeah, that was about it. But that Camavinga rumor just gets heightened with the fact they've brought in a mad midfielder for 20 million.
Unless
it makes you think like they're either going for it or they're selling in anticipation of, because they're buying in anticipation of a big sale.
Yeah.
Whether it be Doku, whether it be Camavinga, whoever.
It's most likely going to be Camavinga. I swear to God, if he goes to PSG.
Yeah. Well, he could. He definitely could. Well, the thing about that is it's either Pogba or Camavinga, but no on PSG, they could get both.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, I'm going to go straight to Spain. All right, Spanish football, boring as shit to a lot of people, but some sick transfers. Dario Benedetto went from Marseille to Elche on loan. Benedetto was a fucking animal in Argentina before he went to Marseille. Marseille was still good, but in Argentina, he was an absolute animal. And he's joining a few South American boys. Like they got Johan Mojica, who's the left back. They got Marcaron, who's an Argentinian-Italian midfielder. So, yeah, they got some good players there at Elche, and they're actually looking like an Eibar, kind of. Like they're starting really low and building up to become a nice little team with some decent transfers. Atletico signed Benjamin Lecomte from Monaco on a loan as a backup with all the European football they're going to be playing, which is a mad backup to have.
Yeah, okay.
Like that's top class backup goalkeeper. And then Danjuma went from Bournemouth to Villarreal
for like 20-something million. 23 million or something. Like that's big money. That's big championship money.
Yeah,
he was great. He was great in the championship last season, though.
Yeah. Like he was one of the best players all year. So
yeah.
But Villarreal know what they're doing when it comes to wide players and bringing in. And Villarreal and Sevilla are looking all right. Sevilla sold a fullback to sign 2 more, which I found funny. But they sold Alex Vidal to Espanyol on a free.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went out and got Gonzalo Montiel from River Plate for 11 million, young Argentinian right back. And then they went to Bremen, who are fucking losing every game and player in sight. Bremen are poor bastards, and they lost Ludwig Augustinsson. There we go, got there. Excuse the pronunciation. I'm Australian, and for 5.5 million. So Sevilla look good, man.
Poor Bremen.
Yeah, poor Bremen, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to say a farewell. As a Fiorentina fan, around 5 years ago, we lost our captain. He died in his sleep, Davide Story. And we didn't have too much direction there for a while, and we actually fought off relegation a few times. But one man that stayed by the club and was like a forefront in our back line and was so rock solid, and he's just kind of grown out of it. And we've already got enough at centre-back now. Germain Pezzella went to Betis for 3.5 million. Now, I wish him the best of luck, and I wish him nothing but success, because that man stepped up. Like, it was so sad when Astori died, and he stepped up and he took that captaincy role on, and he led the club into a more stable position. And arguably, without him, we don't get in a position to bring in a Ribery, and we don't get in a position to give Vlahovic and Milinkovic chances, because more times than not, we just sign players for a year or two and sell them. But Fiorentina's looking a lot better nowadays. So, yeah, Bazzella's left. It's quite sad, actually, as a Fiorentina fan. But knowing him, he'd want to play. So can't blame him. Betis need bolstering stocks, and I'm sure they've got Fekir, and they go, we need to build around Fekir.
That's also a very odd transfer that I never saw coming.
Fekir.
To Betis.
Yeah, it was injuries, bro.
Yeah.
But if we go to... I'm going to go to Turkey quickly.
Turkey had some good signings.
Michi Batshuayi went to Besiktas on loan. Right? And there was a few more in the lower, but there were so many transfers this week I couldn't cover them. But Fenerbahce made a big one. Now, if anyone knows about European Asian football, there's a centre-back by the name of Min Jae Kim, who went from Beijing Guan to Fenerbahce. 24-year-old Korean centre-back, and he is looking good.
He was heavily linked to a lot of Premier League clubs a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so
he's just a big Asian bloke.
Yeah, he's quite good. I've watched him a few times now, and he's playing at Fenerbahce. So Fenerbahce looking all right with a few signings, and Besiktas, for my boy Arda, who's in the FPL group, is looking the goods as well. They've got Ghezal on a permanent, they've got Rossier back in the club, and they've got Batshuayi now, and I imagine they're going to bolster more stocks within Besiktas as well. So, yeah, that was two sick transfers on a Turkish front. The Turkish always seem to know how to get it done. And I almost predicted this, Jaden.
Yes.
I said Leverkusen are selling a left back. It's either Sint-Graven or Vandel.
Yes.
And Vandel went from Leverkusen to Porto for 4 million.
Ah. Well, I mean, yeah.
I thought it was interesting because they said he was linked to Portugal, and I thought, this might mean Nuno Mendes or Grimaldo's leaving their clubs. But yeah, funnily enough, he went to Porto. So if you want a left back, look at the Portuguese league. They've got plenty for you, and they're all.
You already did that. You got Nuno Tavares.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if they brought him in yet. Oh yeah, no, Nuno Tavares. They said Nuno Mendes.
Yes, no, not Nuno. Yeah.
Now I'm going to go to Greece. Right, this bloke is funny. Abubakar Kamara, who was at Fulham, who took the infamous penalty away from Mitrovic. He went to Aris Asalonki, who had Karim Bullet back in the day.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so he's there now. He signed permanently, not a loan. So Fulham have decided to get him off their books. We saw a Watford king in Nordin Amrabat. He went from Al Nassr to Athens. And then something I find interesting, and I can't believe he's 25, is Ronnie Lopez went to Olympiacos on loan.
He's 25?
He's 25.
I swear, he's like John Joe Shelby. They've just been around for so long, you think, like, they've got to be...
And you're like, you got to be 38.
Yeah.
You got to be fucking 30, but 25.
Okay.
So I thought it was interesting. He signed for Sevilla not too long ago, and he went straight to Olympiacos. So I thought it was Olympiacos have got El Arabi and Valbuena on their books, so they're just adding more flair. And Olympiacos have made decent pushes in Europe in recent times.
Definitely.
And they got Lala back and Cisse at centre back. So they're like acknowledging, like, hey, we can actually do it right now. The league is the league. We've won that so many times.
Yeah, they'll piss the league. They're just gonna focus on Europe.
Yeah, and they can still win the league if they want. So
yeah,
I thought there was 36 signings over in Greece, and hopefully the Greeks can stay out of financial trouble. Because for people that don't know, Greece went into a massive recession not long ago, so all the football clubs were fucked. Yeah. Players weren't getting paid, shit, like, except for like the teams that are making Europe. But now they've gained a bit more stability, even due COVID. So it's looking good now for Greek players and Greek clubs, and they know how to produce a good player, the Greeks. But I'm going to go to Germany.
We like Germany. We like Germany.
Yeah. We saw Andrik that big girthy midfielder for Berlin. He like big boy, shaved head, tattoos.
Yep. Yeah. Scary man.
He went to Leverkusen for 5 million, approximately. It's not confirmed, but it's around 5 million.
Yeah, all right.
So I thought that was interesting. Now Stuttgart do Stuttgart things. I say that much. Enzo Milo, he was a Monaco midfielder, really young. He's around 19. He signed for Stuttgart for 1.75 million.
Yeah, right.
Now, he might turn out shit, but at 1.75 million, you actually can't go wrong.
No,
you can't go wrong.
Even if he turns out shit, you could at least sell him one for 1.75 or even 2 mil.
And you could sell him way more. Way more. Like
even if he goes full Fabian Delph, so that's still 5 mil. Yeah.
And Stuttgart just doing Stuttgart things.
Yeah, good on him, I say. Germany.
Their transfer, honestly, this will be clipped in 2 years. Stuttgart's transfers will be looked at like Brentford's in 2 or 3 years. The way they're going and the players they're bringing in, they will be looked at and be like, all right, we need to interview Stuttgart's high-ups and figure out how they're doing it. You know what I mean? But once again, this is another transfer where Bremen are losing every single fucking thing they touch. Maximilian Eggstein went from Bremen to Freiburg for 5 million. So Eggstein is the replacement to Santa Maria, or at least it looks like at this point. But Bremen, for people that don't know, they lost to Paderborn 5-2 on the weekend.
Well, they've gutted the whole squad.
Man, they look fucked.
They've just gutted their squad.
Excuse the language, people, but I feel bad for Bremen because I grew up watching like Dzeko and it wasn't Dzeko. Who was at Bremen?
Wait.
No, I'm trying to think. There was some absolute guns at Bremen in 2009, in 2010-ish. Like, just trying to think.
I'm trying to get it up.
Oh, Naldo is one of them. Sylvester, it's another one. Oh, Claudio Pajaro, how could I forget? So these are some of the players I've watched played at Bremen. And I can't lie. Oh, Arnautovic. That's who I was thinking of, not Dzeko.
Oh, okay.
So these are some of the players they've had in the early 2010s. And now I'm looking at them and they're just getting whacked from all sides. They've lost Rashika, Sargent, Osako, Eggstein, Augustinsson. And they've lost. I think they'll lose Pavlenka as well, their goalkeeper.
Most likely.
Yeah.
They're just gonna do a. They're just gonna do a full.
Absolute gun.
They'll just do a full fucking rebuild. Second Bundesliga. Like the money's got to be like even, like, lower Bundesliga money is already not amazing. Bundesliga 2 money. With a squad that has like your Mila Rashikas and your Eggsteins, or like the wages that they would be on, like you just got to get them out.
Yeah, and Ingolstadt did it a few years ago. They did the exact same thing, gutted their squad when they went down, but unfortunately they went down again.
Yeah,
and that's a high possibility. But the third tier of German football is not as bad as it's made out to be at all. It gets quite high crowds actually. Like St. Pauli, Dresden, like those teams do dip down there, and they still pull the same crowds they were in the Bundesliga. Just the away fans may not be.
Yeah. It's just like German football fans as a whole. They're a different breed. Like they don't give a shit if it's Bundesliga, third tier Bundesliga. Like if their team's they're gonna.
That's their team.
Yeah,
that's their team. That's how football should be. But we're gonna go to Belgium quickly. Do you remember this guy when he was coming up, Vincent Cosiello? French midfielder?
No.
He was a gun back in the day. He played for a big club when he was younger, but he signed for, I can't say it properly. Let me have a look. KV Ustien.
Interesting.
In Belgium. So he signed for them.
He's one of the fallen wonder kids, is he?
Yep. And we saw Daniel Arzani signed for a club.
Yes, we have. Fellow Aussie.
Yes. I've actually been at a party with Mr. Arzani once. Nonetheless. Yes. My best mate growing up played for the Socceroos. So when he had people over, and I was there. He like a few of the Socceroos boys were all there. But so Vincent Cosiello, going back to him, he used to play for like some big clubs. Like he was at Nice, then he was at Cologne, and then he was at Paris FC. But when he was at Nice, he was touted to be huge. And then he made his way to Portugal, and now he's made his way to Oostende. But I hope it works out for him. But Azani signed for Lommel SK, who are in the second division. And people are going, oh, Azani signed in second division, this, and that. First of all, the bloke's fucking young. Bloke's so fucking young. I'm about the same age as him, and I'm sitting in my room doing a football podcast at Friday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, I woke up at 11:30 today after staying up till 4 a.m.
Yep, for COD.
For COD.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. People don't realise Lommel SK is owned by Citigroup.
Everyone's owned by Citigroup at this point.
Well, yeah, so Azani's a Man City-owned player. He's just going to a Citigroup-owned club. It's what we want because
it's
City
like if you were to go to
hey,
Melbourne City or New York FC. What are they called? New York City
or
FC
Girona.
or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I think it's good for Azani. I wish him nothing but the best of luck. I hope.
Yeah, we need more Aussies, man.
Star.
We need more Aussies in football.
Now, this is another one that's fucking shocked me. It shocked me to the core when I saw it. João Victor of Wolfsburg has gone to Al Jazeera in the UAE.
What?
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. Must have been stupid money. But
stupid wages.
It's the same thing with Pereira. I get the money thing. I completely get it. But at some point, don't you think like, fuck, I'm going to get a football career once in my life. I'm already on enough money as it is. Like, they would be on huge money. They would be on huge money.
The counter argument to that would be they would...
a career once. And make as much money as you can. I completely agree. But I guarantee this is the way they've got to look at it. Hey, I should try and play in the top leagues until I'm 30.
Well, look at Arnautovic.
That is when I go.
He went to get the big money, and then now he's back at a top 5
Look
league.
what Tevez did, man. Tevez did whatever he wanted. When he came to 35, same with Mikhail. I'll go to China, get a paycheck.
Go to India, get a paycheck. Spread his brand across the entire world.
Yeah, I just don't think in your mid-20s you should be going over there. It's same with Oscar, man. Oscar was going to be a fucking special player.
I can't believe he's still playing football. He's one of those ones where you're like, you've got to be like 35.
Yeah.
But he's not. I think he's only like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, and I guarantee Oscar will come back to a high level of football. A lot of these Chinese football's fallen apart at the seam. So Saudi football and like Dubai, Qatar.
That football will be the next Chinese football.
Middle Eastern
players go there for stupid money, and it's just it's more sustainable as well.
Clubs, yeah, well, the thing about the Middle Eastern clubs is they're owned by royal families and oil money-based things. They're not owned by retail groups that can be affected.
Exactly. That's why it's more sustainable. Unless we go to a world where there's no oil, that money is always going to be there.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to go down to South America quickly for 3 sick transfers. And Flamengo are looking the goods in Brazil. They've brought in Andreas Pereira on loan and Kennedy as well.
I'm also glad that Andreas Pereira went there on loan because I would have not wanted him at Everton, and I was very upset when Fabrizio Romano said that he's linked with Everton. That is my 2 cents.
Fair enough. I'll pay it. Diego Costa went to Atletico Mineiro as well.
Good on him.
That was but I just thought Flamengo.
It's just he's going home. He's going home, and then that's 3 Brazilians you're bringing into the squad. They're good. Squad Premier League players.
Brazil is renowned for no matter how many players they have overseas, they'll still pick Brazilian league players because they believe in that system.
Yeah.
And Pereira and Kennedy would be completely taking that into consideration. Like they would be like very much, I want to fucking play at this World Cup. If I can tear this league apart, I have a chance of playing in this World Cup.
Well, that's exactly it. Well, and then half of that as well will be you're going home. And that's always nice. But then as well as that, you have the upcoming World Cup will probably be their last chance at a World Cup. So it's like, just go for it.
Yeah. So, but let's go back to England, where those 2 players came from. And quickly in the Championship, Ben Davies signed for Sheffield on loan. Sheffield need all the help they can get. They're getting battered. And Orjan Nyland went to Bournemouth on loan from Norwich. So Bournemouth securing a decent keeper while they're at it. That's all about it in the championship.
Oh, I do want to add one more in the championship. Phil Jagielka
went to Derby.
Went to Derby, got man of the match in his first game. He's aged like fine wine. Wayne Rooney's Derby County.
Derby are in the mud for people that don't know. They're in a serious financial trouble and whatnot.
When you go to a 39-year-old Phil Jagielka, you are in the mud. But at the same time, well done, Jagielka, for pulling it out of nowhere. That's it. Never thought we'd see it again.
And let's go to the Prem. Now, Jaden, correct me if I missed one, but there was only 3 that really got confirmed this week. Varane got confirmed.
Yep. But we already knew that.
And we saw Joe Willock got confirmed to Newcastle for 30 million.
Good on Newcastle. Good job, guys.
Mike Ashley, you're a fucking dog, but I'll pay it.
Yeah, whatever.
And then Yannick Vestergaard went to Leicester for 17 million.
That is an interesting one because you think about it, you have one of the rocks in defense, Vestergaard leaves. Danny Ings, the goal scorer, leaves. They bring in Adam Armstrong to replace Danny Ings. Have they replaced Vestergaard yet?
Not to my knowledge, but
I think they're going to play Mohamed Salisu instead of him. So I think you're going to be seeing Bednarek and Salisu. He was a wonder kid.
Yeah. Southampton getting nice nifty 50 million for those two?
I think so. Yeah. I think Danny Ings was like 30 and then Vestergaard was like 18. So yeah.
50 million odd.
Well, that's what they do, Southampton. They sell their whatever players and then they just bring in the young kids.
Yeah, and they reproduce.
That's what they've done.
Model club people.
Yeah, Adam Lallana, Sadio Mane, like they've done it throughout the years.
Yeah. That's all on the transfer front, really. Personally, my favourite of the week was Simi to Salernitana.
You know what? I'm gonna say my favourite's Daniel Arzani because we need more Aussies in football. And we need to develop more Aussies, and more Aussies need to first off play football, second off not be priced out of playing football, and third off more opportunities to play football, which is a big problem here in Australia. Yeah,
for people that don't know, if you want to play lower leagues football as a kid, you have to pay. Like lower league representative, you have to pay.
Yeah, I think my brother, just to play MPL 1, had to pay like $3,000 to play.
Yeah.
Which is
that's
stupid.
Australian football if we have any international listeners. Let's hope we do one day. But so we'll go to the rumours now, Jaden.
So for rumours, I want to start with Fiorentina rumours, obviously because we have Harry here. There are two rumours, one incoming, one outgoing. I'll start with the outgoing. Dusan Vlahovic has been linked for a move to, well, the most prominent rumour is linking him to Atletico Madrid. I think it's around 40 million euros. Dusan Vlahovic. I know how good he is, but tell me what he means to Fiorentina as a young 21-year-old.
Right, he means everything. He's our whole fucking life. He's our heart. Like, if he leaves, we're in the fucking mud. Him and Milenkovic. If they were to leave, we're legit. We could go relegation.
Milenkovic heavily rumoured to move to West Ham. Vlahovic could be moving to Atletico Madrid. And so then what would you be left with?
Nah, nothing really. We have some all right players coming back from loan. So we have Ricardo Sotil. He came back from a successful loan. There's a few others there, but nothing really of mention besides Sotil. But with the Vlahovic thing, you can't replace what we have now. That's the thing. But if we get priced out of it, we get priced out of it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
With Milenkovic, he's a Fiorentina boy through and through. And I hope we do everything we can to keep him. Because Milenkovic is arguably just as important as Vlahovic at this point in time.
Yep.
And I think about Vlahovic, but as he put out over 20 goals last season, and at Fiorentina, you just don't get that. But in typical Fiorentina form, when you do get that, they leave.
Yep.
It is what it is. But Fiorentina, we signed Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have Nico Gonzalez.
But he's a left winger who can play striker. I'm waiting to see what we do. I just pray we don't sell Vlahovic.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to see a season where we have Milenkovic, Strakovski, Vlahovic, Bonaventura, Amrabat, Polgar, Paul Liriola, Sotil, Callahan. Like, I just want to see all these players play together and see, hey, can we make Europe? That's what I want to see. And it's going to be hard because we don't have Ribery now, man. And Ribery's like just
another player that is aged like fine wine.
Yeah, but he was priceless in the sense, like, of course, he had great moments on the football pitch, but what he brought to the club off the pitch was way more valuable.
Yeah, like Ribery moving to Fiorentina is more than just a football move. It's a commercial move that you get people to get Ribery on the back of their shirts. They buy the shirt because Ribery's there. They watch the game because Ribery's there. Yeah,
and like Kaisa, when he was coming up, when he was like scoring goals for fun for us last year, he like when he would score, he'd run when Ribery was injured, he'd run into the crowd and like slap Ribery on the back of the head. Like Ribery's like he's the Joker, but like there's so much like love for him at the club. And like every time Vlahovic would score, run straight to Ribery, whether he's on the fucking bench injured or on the pitch, they'd run to Ribery, like all of them.
Yeah.
So like we've lost Ribery now, and we have to ensure we don't lose Vlahovic. And you know what? So say he scores 10 goals this season, is what it is, and he goes down to 20 million. I could not care. We need the money we get from Kaisa is enough.
That is a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
60 million for him. We're in no rush to sell, and we don't need to sell because we know we can't replace these players immediately.
Well, that's it. Well, speaking of replacing Vlahovic, heavily linked to Moise Kean, obviously, of Everton. I was a big fan of Moise Kean when he came. He's the only player that I've got it on the back of my shirt for a very long time. When he signed for us, I got him on the back of my shirt. I thought, bloody hell. Moise Kean, huh? Young Italian boy.
He was such an Instagram player.
He is still such an Instagram player. But my problem
just hypes him up so much.
My problem with the link is that he's linked to move to use for 35 million. So realistically, you sell Vlahovic for 40. You've signed Moise Kean for 35. You only got 5 mil in return, and there's no guarantee Moise Kean is going to give you 20 goals a season. He scored 13 goals in 26 appearances or something like that for PSG. But that's PSG.
Man. Fucking PSG.
Like PSG, they put it in front of you. It's on a plate. It's on a silver platter. With Fiorentina, yes, he goes home to Italy. Yes, he's done it. He's been in Serie A before, but he's never really done it at Everton. He never really acclimated to the league, and at Juventus, he was still a young boy coming on off the bench. Yeah. So he doesn't.
I think it'd be pure stupidity if we signed Moise Kean for over 20 million.
Well, exactly. I mean, I personally, for me, I'd love him to succeed at Everton. I just don't see it happening. Yeah. Because he doesn't. He's more.
Well, Richarlison and DCL have kind of taken him out of that equation.
Exactly. And he's not going to play for us. He's not. He's going to sit on the bench the whole season. He'll play for you. He'll definitely play for Fiorentina. But whether or not that's a good move for both, he will look at it as a good move because he will go home to Italy. He'll play in the Serie A. Yeah. And he'll start if Vlahovic leaves.
And he'll have a point to prove. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Moise Kean's shit or whatever. He's just nowhere near Vlahovic's level.
No, that's it.
People don't realize to score like 30 goals basically for Fiorentina in a season is stupid.
Exactly. It's completely different scoring 13 goals for PSG.
Yeah.
And scoring almost 30 goals for Fiorentina. They're both the same age as well. They're both 21. And if you look at it in a development standpoint, Vlahovic is so far ahead of Moise Kean as a player.
Yeah. Look, I hope we hold on to Vlahovic. There's a few rumours saying we will. In the hopes that senior players convince him to stay and try and be the Prince of Florence.
Yeah.
Like that said, if he was to bring any success to Florence, he would be the king. Like he'd be the next best thing since Gabriel Batistuta and Rui Costa at Fiorentina.
You guys get Europe and he's a big part of that, then that's massive.
Yeah, any success, top 4, top 6, whatever it could be, if he stays and brings that, he's the next best thing. Last time we had that, Ilicic was on the front line for us. So that kind of signifies the quality of player that we had to reach those heights. But yeah, I think we can, man. I think he can stay, and I think him, Milinkovic, and Drakovsky are like non-negotiables for Fiorentina. They should not be negotiated with.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of Serie A players and Premier League players, Joaquin Correa from Lazio has been linked with a move to Everton.
I don't know if I see him leaving.
I don't know if I see him leaving either. I don't see where he plays either, because he plays the same position as Richarlison, either out on like the left or like in behind the striker. More in behind the striker more than anything. I mean, 26, going on 27. I think it's 20, maybe 27 now. I mean, I guess. It just adds...
why he gets the best balls in the league from Luis Alberto, and he has the best striker in the league on his day in front of him with Chiro. So why the fuck would you even leave? And then he has Lazzari to the right of him, like who's a little gun down there. Like when I say little, like he's tiny. He's 5 foot something, like 5'7" or 8. But like, and on the left, I'm trying to think. Who do they have on the left? They had the Lukaku's brother, but he's not there anymore. They have some gun on the left. And I can't even think of who it is. I am shocking on a podcast. You're going to have to forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, they have Milinkovic-Savic behind him, who plays on the left side of midfield.
I'm also surprised that he's still at that club, by the way.
Yeah. And like Lucas Leiva, Morosic, Escalante, Johnny Rodriguez is still there as well. So they got some like decent players in there. But yeah, I don't know why you'd leave Lazio to go to Everton personally at this point in time when you could be a part of a big thing. But
yeah, that's it.
Is what it is, I suppose.
This is a very interesting one. Obviously, we have a lot of love for the Turkish league. One Turkish player in particular, Ozan Tufan.
He's going to Everton, isn't he?
No, Watford.
That's it. That's it. Boy. That's where I
Watford
saw it.
Boy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's confirmed yet, but I think it's very close to happening. I like that move for Watford, because Watford are known for just signing these like 32-year-old English blokes that are sort of just there. This is very different to their transfer strategy.
And they reckon they'll get him under market price as well. Market value. Well under market value.
Well, I mean, good on them.
Yeah. I'd like to say one thing about Watford. If you haven't already and you don't know about it for whatever reason, you're a football fan, Ben Foster, the cycling GK, he's done vlogs for like 2 years almost now. But he's also doing player interviews, and very inspiring for any young players out there, especially Troost Ekong's one. But yeah, if you haven't, awesome content. Like, it gives you game day vibes. You see like which Watford players are funny as fuck, which ones get piss taken out of them, and Xiao Pedro still can't speak English. Cucho Hernandez can't speak English. Like, it's fucking funny. So yeah, if you haven't already, go check all that because that's some of the best football content you'll get in the world.
Alrighty, we have to do it. We'll round up the episode. We got to talk about Arsenal's double dip. Martin Odegaard for 34 million, which is not bad.
Ramsdale
for 30. Ramsdale for 30. That is 64 million on... I would say Odegaard is good business. So people are saying 34 million is too much for Odegaard, but you got to think about it. He is the captain of his national team. He's played for Arsenal before. There's a reason that he signed for Real Madrid, because he's got the talent in him.
Yeah.
And think about the price tag as well.
I think the Odegaard deal is unreal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying as well.
Dumbest fucking thing that's ever happened in football.
Well, our resident staff friend Jeff, who's also an Arsenal fan, is very upset with Ramsdale, considering that you sold Emiliano Martinez for 20. Look,
no doubt Ramsdale's a good backup. He'd be a great backup for any European club. We're not European.
No. He's 23. He needs to play games to develop. Why would you move to Arsenal when they already have a Bernd Leno who's going to play 38 games a season? Why would you go there to play an odd FA Cup and Carabao Cup game?
Who knows, man? Maybe he's going to start. Maybe that's the premise.
Why?
Don't ask
Why
me,
would you
I'm
start Aaron Ramsdale? He's
it's Arsenal.
Okay, Aaron Ramsdale, right? Great shot stopper, great reflexes, whatever. He can't distribute the ball for shit.
Yeah.
He can't kick the ball.
Agree.
And if you're Arsenal and you play the way Mikel Arteta wants to play, which is the donut of sadness, where you get it to Xhaka, who gives it to Tierney, who crosses it in, gets the Pepe, goes back to Ben White. You need a goalkeeper that can distribute, and Ramsdale can't distribute. Granted, maybe he'll do it. Maybe he'll develop under Arsenal, and it'll be the next great thing. But right now, 30 million makes no fucking sense.
Yep. And while we're at it, Arsenal also have 4 COVID cases.
Oh, really?
Aubameyang, Runnison, and one more. Can't remember who the 4th one is. So we're going to get fucking hammered this weekend.
So no, is Lacazette back?
Yeah. No. He's confirmed as well. Those 2 are positive with COVID, and someone else, Runnison, and there's another one. Can't remember who the fucking 4th one is, but.
Wow. So you reckon you're going to play Martinelli through the middle and Saka out on the left?
I honestly have no clue at this point in time what we'd even line up with.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about, right? Because it's like...
Oh, Willian as well.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well then.
So, yeah, I imagine Pepe, Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, or Nketiah.
Fair enough. Well, okay. But then, think about it, right? Arsenal have spent something over 150 million.
Yeah.
Look at their starting 11s last year compared to this year. Did they improve?
Oh, God, no.
Exactly.
But saying that, I will defend Ben White. He can easily improve this team.
He can.
Can easily improve this team. And you know what? Tomorrow is the game. Tomorrow is the game. Oh, not tomorrow. This weekend is the game where if they want to prove to London, the world, and Highbury, all those places, if they want to prove, hey, we are the club that you fell in love with, this is the game. Chelsea is our second biggest opponent after Spurs, and this is the game where you rock up and you go, we're going to fucking win.
Yeah.
We're literally going to die on this pitch if we have to get a point or 3.
You just can't play that donut of sadness.
Yeah, well, I wish I could tell Mikel that, but I can't. I don't have his contact.
Arsenal still looking for a right back. They want to sell Bellerin. So you're still not done. You're still not done. After 150 million spent, you're not done.
Look, it's honestly sad, but I remember before school when I was like maybe year 10 watching us versus Dortmund, and it was actually Bellerin's debut.
Yeah, right.
He had a cracker. He announced himself to the world.
He's sort of just stood still.
I think he's fallen out of love with football.
Yeah, I think he wants to plant trees and be a model or something.
He wants to do what he wants to do. And honestly, Bellerin's an asset to the footballing world because he shows there's much more to him than kicking a ball. Because people don't realise they train for a few hours a day and then they go home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like jobs where you work 8 to 10 hours and then you don't really get much to do. These footballers have extra lives, and Bellerin's just more public about it than all of them. But, yeah, I think Bellerin will most probably go to... You know where Bellerin would go? I'm starting this rumour right now. Venezia.
They got great kit. Did you see that new kit they just brought out? The blue one? Oh, it's great.
Oh, God, they're a cool club.
They are.
So, yeah, I think Bellerin would go there. But honestly, I have no idea where Bellerin will go. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Watford. He went on loan there in his early days of his career. So, yeah.
Oh, that is our transfers for the week.
Yeah, and thank you for listening.
I think next week won't be our last.
No, we'll have 2 more weeks of this.
We'll have 2 more weeks. We have 2 more weeks of transfers. So deals are ramping up. There's still got pieces to move and people to go to Fiorentina or leave Fiorentina and go to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Both of your clubs are doing things.
Yeah, a bit in the mud, but oh well.
That's football, right?
Yeah, Fiorentina versus Roma. Everyone drop your score predictions. I'm going Fiorentina 4, Roma 2.
I'm going Fiorentina 7, Roma 2.
Yeah, nice. All right. Well, Tammy Abraham for the double, let's hope. And,
Tammy Abraham will score 5.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho will sub himself on.
Yeah.
Score a crack.
Who knows? But
all right. Well,
drop some Chelsea Arsenal predictions below, people. We'd love to see them.
Yes. And we will see you all for the podcast, the real podcast, where we talk about how Mikel Arteta beated and masterminded Thomas Tuchel.
Yep. See you then, everyone. Enjoy your weekends.
Goodbye.
Me and Lil J, we Scotty MJ. Passing the rock, we're hitting the fade. Pull up in a whip with 21 bays. Here come the bastards, 21 days. Gun you, boy, I know he's a waste. Baby, I know that you want a little taste. I know you want all the bass in your face. Brand new bag and brand new nails. Me and Lil J, we Scotty MJ. Passing the rock, we're hitting the fade. Pull up in a whip with 21 bays. Here come the bastards, 21 days. Gun you.